Does a vegetarian need vitamin B12? B12 is the essential nutrient that aids DNA formation, blood cells, and nerves in general. Vitamin B12 helps in cognitive function and cardiovascular health. Vitamin B12-rich foods include milk and dairy products, eggs, legumes, meats, and fortified foods. We will discuss the vegetarian sources of B13 and some vegan B12 myths. Let us go. Firstly, what is vitamin B12? B12 is a water-soluble vitamin that your intestines absorb. Our bodies cannot make this vitamin, so we have to actively make up for it by eating food rich in the vitamin. One fun fact about B12 is that the body can store it for 4 years. Nonetheless, if there is any excess, the body excretes it through urine immediately. Animal products have the highest source of protein. That could make it a limited choice for vegetarians. Before we go any further, let us set the record straight on what amounts to a vegetarian. Vegetarians do not eat red meat, game, or fish. They can eat it in moderation once in a while, focusing on whole plant-based foods. Vegetarians eat dairy products, nuts, seeds, fruits and vegetables, grains, eggs, dairy, and pulses. Vegetarians are different and should not be mistaken for vegans. Vegans are completely opposed to animal products of any kind. They only eat plant-based foods. We will be looking at the food choices for vegans later in the video. They compensate for all meat products with plant-based options. There are 3 other types of vegetarians. These include Lacto. Lacto-vegetarians eat dairy products, but not eggs. Ovo. Ovo-vegetarians eat eggs, but not dairy products. Lacto-ovo. These are the most common vegetarians currently. They eat both eggs and dairy products. However, if you fall under any of these 3 categories of vegetarians, then you might be getting enough vitamin B12. An average person needs to consume at least 2.4 micrograms daily, and pregnant women and lactating mothers are advised to get 2.6 micrograms and 2.8 micrograms, respectively. A meatless diet is healthy and beneficial in many ways, but this is one of the drawbacks. Animal products like yogurt, beef, chicken breast, ham, eggs, beef, and fish are enriched with vitamins and other nutrients. In contrast, plant-based foods do not naturally contain B12, so those who follow a vegetarian diet need to ensure that they actively eat foods and supplements that can help them avoid a vitamin B12 deficiency. We're going to talk about some of the supplements and fortified foods that are the best options for vegetarians later in the video. Vitamin B12 deficiencies in adults take up to 5 years to fully form. We will tell you about some of the complications of a vitamin B12 deficiency as soon as you subscribe to this channel. For more updates on a healthy diet and nutrition, you can hit the notification bell. Back to the video. Effects of a vitamin B12 deficiency include anemia, cognitive decline and memory loss, balance problems, cardiovascular diseases, nerve damage. Moreover, the dangers of a vitamin B12 deficiency are more profound in vegan diets and sources of B12. Our previous video addressed some of the best sources of vegan B12, and you can check it out. It is titled Best 5 Vegetarian Sources of B12. Tips for vegan vitamin B12 sources. Vegans have to avoid animal products in their diet at all costs. The type of seasoning, condiments, and sauces you eat should all be free of any products made with animal byproducts. For example, although mayonnaise is not an animal product per se, it contains eggs and so cannot be admitted as a vegan condiment. We will discuss 3 vital vegetarian sources of B12 that are also inclusive for vegans. These options include supplements, fortified foods, and a meat alternative, and let us look at them. Number 3. Vitamin B12 supplements. When the food does not cut it anymore, get supplements to go with your diet. Vitamin B12 supplements complement the food that you eat. You must speak to your doctor before taking these supplements because exceeding the daily intake could also have its effects. If you are taking some drugs, the doctor will also best explain the interactions with the supplement. B12 supplements are your best bet to avoid B12 deficiencies when they are not interfering with anything. Number 2. Fortified foods. Fortified foods are foods with added micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. There are two reasons foods, especially plant-based foods, need to be fortified. First, some foods lack nutrients like vitamin B12, and their consumption over a period could cause deficiencies. Lastly, the body does not have a way to create micronutrients, so it has to be received through diets. Medical news today acknowledge the importance of having fortified plant-based foods like bran and whole wheat cereal for vegetarians and vegans. Number 1. TEMPEH. TEMPEH is credited with reducing cancer risk, improving insulin resistance, improving heart health, and managing menopause symptoms. TEMPEH is a soy-based food that acts as a meat alternative. If you have seen the tweets where people make steak and other meat recipes with plant-based options, they use TEMPEH. It gets its B12 nutrients through the fermentation process. Soybean itself is not high in B12. There are other lab-produced versions of TEMPEH, which have higher vitamin B12 isolated bacteria. Similarly, some mushrooms have B12 due to bacteria production on their outer skins. What is your go-to supplement for vitamin B12? Share in the comments and let us know if you would like a video of vitamin B12 supplements.